We are currently tracking a biological countdown that ends in the year 2045. Based on current trajectories, that is the year the median male sperm count is projected to hit absolute zero, effectively freezing human reproduction. This chart shows the historical baseline for human fertility. For the vast majority of our history as hunter-gatherers, human sperm counts sat robustly at about 118 million per milliliter. That was our evolutionary standard. Then, the environment changed. By 1970, that number had dropped to 100 million. Today, we sit at roughly 35 million per milliliter. The count is plunging at a rate of 2.5% every single year, driving us steadily toward that zero line. These numbers map directly to quiet, private struggles happening right now. Already, 17% of young couples require medical intervention to conceive. At this rate of decline, in 20 years, the average couple will be entirely dependent on clinical help to have a child. This is not a hypothetical science fiction scenario projected onto a distant future. This biological countdown has already begun inside your own body. The implications extend far beyond individual families. A shrinking population guarantees a severe shortage of young adults. That triggers a chain reaction of workforce deficits, economic contraction, and the inevitable collapse of long-term social safety nets that rely on the next generation. Yet, as this happens, a psychological vacuum takes hold. Most people look at their fatigue, their hormonal imbalances, or their struggles to conceive, and they blame themselves. They assume they are simply aging poorly, succumbing to stress, or dealing with bad genetics. Your body is not broken. Your genes have not suddenly failed. Your biology is functioning exactly as it is designed to. It is responding to the constant interference of a highly toxic modern environment. To understand this interference, we have to look at endocrine-disrupting chemicals, or EDCs. Think of hormones as your body's internal signaling language. EDCs are synthetic molecules that infiltrate your system and scramble or block these critical biological messages. And these chemicals are hiding in plain sight. If you audit your own bathroom, you will find phthalates lurking in everyday cosmetics, shampoos, and lotions. Once absorbed, they actively lower male testosterone production and severely confuse female reproductive signaling. Move into your kitchen and the exposure multiplies. Chemicals like BPA and BPS are embedded in plastic food containers, plastic wrap, and even the printed receipts you take from the store. Inside your body, they act as synthetic estrogens, throwing your natural hormonal balance into chaos. Look at your cookware and your tap. PFAS, often called forever chemicals, coat your nonstick pans and contaminate 45% of the tap water in the United States. Their presence in the bloodstream is directly correlated with a sharp decrease in sperm volume. Then there is the agricultural infiltration. Harsh herbicides like atrazine are sprayed over mass-produced crops, making their way into our food supply, alongside pervasive microplastics. We are now routinely finding these compounds embedded deep inside human placentas and testicles. The spaces we consider our safest havens, our kitchens, our bathrooms, our homes, are actually ground zero for a daily, invisible chemical assault on our biology. You might be wondering how an intrusion of this magnitude is entirely legal. The answer lies in a glaring contrast in global chemical regulations. The European Union takes a proactive stance on human biology. They aggressively protect their citizens by banning over 1,300 known toxic chemicals from being used in cosmetics and consumer goods. In the United States, that number is staggering for the opposite reason. The U.S. bans only 11 of those cosmetic chemicals. Furthermore, domestic policy actively permits 85 agricultural pesticides that are completely outlawed in the EU, China, and Brazil due to their toxicity. Millions of Americans are living in an under-regulated chemical soup, navigating a modern environment that is slowly, legally, and chemically castrating the population. You cannot heal your body in the exact same environment that made you sick and tired. This diagram maps the foundation of the Total Reboot philosophy. By integrating these four elements, food from the land, nature, community, and structure, you systematically strip away endocrine disruptors. Once interference is gone, your body immediately jumpstarts its own hormonal repair. While the modern environment represents a systemic failure, human biology retains its capacity to recover. Identifying and removing these specific environmental interferences allows us to reactivate our fertility and restore our natural vitality. The Bahia Reboot Health Retreat functions as an immersive, living ecosystem. It employs regenerative agroforestry to strip away synthetic toxins and reset the nervous system. Coastal Horizons Brazil expands these principles into a permanent setting, establishing a low-toxin real estate community in a region governed by strict agricultural protections. Modern convenience is driving human biology toward collapse, but we are not trapped. We possess the ability to step out of the noise and intentionally build new spaces that heal us. To understand exactly how these synthetic compounds operate inside your cells and how you can systematically flush them out, join us in Episode 2, The Chemical Assault on Human Biology.